Hey there YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the 1983 Mercedes W123. It's a 300D. And what I'm going to be working on today is just changing out the glow plugs. The car hasn't really been giving me any trouble related to them, but since it's been 14 years since they've had new glow plugs, and I understand about every 3 years is what's recommended, I'm going to go ahead and give them a change out and see if it does anything to help with the performance of the vehicle. I changed out one yesterday, and I'm going to do the other 4 today. One of them is in a precarious location. I'm going to see if I can get to it without taking away any of the hard fuel lines. But in the event that I can't, I'll go ahead and remove them. I'm going to go ahead and do the other 3, though, that I think I can get to with S-wrenches and a little bit of mechanical acrobatics and see if I can get those taken care of without. Of course, I'm going to film it all and let you guys watch along. I'll edit down all of the boring parts, hopefully, and all you'll be left with is a good video at the end of it. One of the other things I'm going to try to get to in the near future is working on the vacuum system. I've got new door actuators to install in the event that any of those are wrong, but I definitely have a vacuum system leak somewhere inside of the back of the vehicle, so I need to get that troubleshot and repaired. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Please give it a thumbs up and a subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and look forward to seeing how this repair turns out.
Danger DIY.
So this is the glow plug that I already replaced yesterday. Oh, what fondness one has of a successful repair already completed. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because there are still 4 more to go, and 2 of them are pretty obscured by other parts of the vehicle that I'd rather not have to remove to get to them. One of them, the number 2, is obscured by hard fuel lines, and the 5th one is obscured by a rubber hose thing. I have no idea what it does. Well, at least at the very beginning I had no idea what it does, but it actually has radiator coolant in it, and when I take it apart, it's going to make a huge mess that I got to clean up later. So starting off, I thought that the number 2 and number 5 glow plugs were going to be my big challenges for this DIY. Boy, was I wrong. Nothing like a stuck glow plug and a rounded out nut to change your perspective on what is going to be the biggest challenge. Let's get to it. So here I'm using an adjustable end that can basically rotate around in pretty much any direction. So starting off, besides the navigating around the car parts, taking off the 8mm nuts that secure the electrical wires was really no problem. I was able to get to all 5, including the one from yesterday, without major issues. I started to remove each nut with the electric driver and then finished them by hand to make sure the nuts didn't fall to the floor, or worse, into some dark crevice of the vehicle never to be found. And since I didn't have any replacements on hand, I definitely wanted to be careful. So I already PV blasted these earlier, so everything should be pretty good to go. I'm just coming in at a better angle so I don't drop this nut. I do not want to go back underneath the car if I don't have to. I'm just proceeding super slow so I make sure I have grip on this nut the entire time. Sometimes you can get these little 8mm nuts with your purchase of the glow plugs, but for the Bosch I did not see them, and I've been told you only want to use Bosch glow plugs, so that is what I am going to recommend. And let's see if I can come in from here and grab that one off. And I can. Look at that. Here I'm just loosening the coolant hose running from the engine into the firewall connection. It's in the way, and I'm going to need to remove it so I can get to plug number 5. There's some nasty rust-colored water there. You can definitely do a radiator flush. You know, really what I think have a hard time doing is reaming out the carbon on these holes. But we'll see. I might be able to get into them. See how it works out for us. With the 8mm nuts removed, I pulled away the electrical wiring and accessed the 12mm connectors that are part of the glow plug. I was able to get all but one out using the same method I used for the 8mm connectors. Full disclosure, I started PB blastering these nuts a few days ago to make sure they'd be ready for this DIY.
This one,
Little did I know that number 3 was just going to be a difficult plug to remove. When I thought I was making progress, what I was actually doing is rounding out the nut. I tried every tool I had and was almost ready to weld a new nut to it. But instead, I went to Harbor Freight and picked up a Pittsburgh branded 12mm metric extractor, hoping that that would take care of it after I realized I rounded out the nut. My electric driver just isn't getting it done with this extractor, and I'm not sure what the result will be of me using an impact wrench.
Interesting.
But I've run out of options, and it's time to bring out the power of the impact wrench.
Well, hopefully this does not hose it up. I'm going to use my impact wrench. Hoping this is okay. There we go.
Wow, that was easy. Just like most things, when you know how to do it, it's easy. That was a lot of hard to get here, but hopefully this will be an easy for me in the future. And hopefully it'll be easy for all of you watching the video.
So that one's probably the worst I've taken out.
So inside of each glow plug hole is carbon deposits, and you need to make sure to clean out the carbon before reinstalling the new glow plug, otherwise it will reduce the life of the new plug. I purchased 2 reamers, which worked, but they're too long to fit into several of the glow plug holes that are
Just end mill.
blocked by other auto parts.
It's not the best
And
thing
so
to
I
use,
used an
obviously, 'cause it's
8mm carbide 4-flute end mill
exactly
for
the
those
right size,
holes and made sure to get all of the sides clean. So I've had this 40-year-old Mercedes for the last 14 years, and I definitely don't plan on waiting 14 more years before replacing these glow plugs again. So to make sure I don't run into the same issues, rounding off a nut, or possibly having a seized up glow plug, I'm putting Loctite copper-based anti-seize on each of the plug threads.
And this just goes right back in.
I also added it to each of the 8mm bolts as well for the electrical connections.
It's 2 down. Alrighty, well, that should take care of that.
The procedure for each glow plug replacement is exactly the same. Remove the electric wire, remove the plug, ream the orifice to remove carbon and clean the hole, replace the plug, replace the electrical wire. This is a straightforward maintenance repair that I am sure anyone with some tools and the desire can get done. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comments if you thought I was ever going to get that number 3 plug out, and if you have any other ways to remove rounded out bolts like that.
Danger DIY. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.